Okay, when you first work with people, I'm guessing you asked the question, or the question I want to hear your response to is, what's your most effective marketing channel? And I feel like that's a good question to ask people that if you just start to work with them, because it's going to tell you a lot, like, where do you think your strength is? Because then you get to ask great follow-up questions with like, why, or how do you know that, or how did you decide that? So why is that a fun question to ask? Or why do you think that might be a fun question to ask?
Yeah, it's definitely not the first question we ask, but yeah, I think it's a big question because there's so many people out there trying to sell marketing to you, and there are so many different channels and places, and it gets really confusing and it's very muddied, in particular by the marketers, right? So I'm not going to throw them all under the bus. Some of them do a great job, some execute extremely well. A
Yeah.
lot of business owners, though, don't think of it. They think of it as a black box, and they're going to hire somebody to go do it. Or they think they have to learn everything about it, or they get kind of stuck on a channel, like,
Yeah.
oh, I have to do Facebook ads, or whatever. And really, if you think about it, almost everybody who's been in it for any length of time says their most effective marketing channel is word of mouth. It's their patients going out and telling other people. So,
It's
you
powerful.
know,
So, all right. So let's go into like what are the different types though? Word of mouth is pretty general.
well, word of mouth is really general, except that it also, if you think about it, it provides instant credibility.
It does.
Because if you're hearing it from someone you trust, then you're much more likely that trust gets transferred, at least some of it, right? And that like when we talk about different types of word of mouth, that's going to come out at different levels too. Because do I trust my uncle who tells me I need to go see this PT, or do I trust my doctor more?
Right.
Right? Or do I trust 100 Google reviews?
Right.
Right? So there are different types of word of mouth. And the way I kind of break them down is there's one to one. That's that person who really likes you, but has told their spouse to come see you or told their father in law to come see you or whatever. And it's kind of that one to one ratio thing. And I know leveraged is now turned into this corporate catchphrase, whatever, but the leverage word of mouth is the other one that I'm looking for, and that can come through somebody like a professional, like someone who's respected, who's going to see a whole lot of people, like a physician. It can come through, name your referral source, but any of the people who refer to you on a regular basis,
Yep.
that's leverage word of mouth because they're not sending one person when it happens; they're sending multiple people over time, right? Um, the other leverage word of mouth is like the reviews,
Yeah.
and here's an example, right? I went to this park for a soccer match. When I looked it up on Google Maps, there was essentially nothing. There were like two photos, and I didn't know anything about it. So I took a picture of the park. I took several. Put a picture of my dog. You can come there. The soccer pitch was really nice. This other stuff. My picture of that soccer pitch is the cover photo on Google Maps for that thing, and it's gotten 50,000 views, and that was 2 years ago, right? So I had no idea, Jimmy, when I took that picture and put it up. I'm just like, somebody's going to be coming here for a soccer match, or somebody's going to come here for whatever. They need to know, can they bring their dog? Can they,
Right.
is there anything else to do? Whatever. I'm like, maybe a couple people will get it. 50,000 people have seen that review and photo because Google sends you the reports too, right?
Oh, I didn't
You're
know
a
that.
local guide. Yeah. You do some reviews, you do a couple pictures. They start sending you because they want you to do more,
Right.
right? So, 100 people found this useful and all that stuff. So that kind of incentivizes, the volunteerism around posting more reviews and that kind of
Right.
thing. Um, but think about that for your patients. That's huge. If
Mm.
I put a positive review and a picture up, and over the next year, maybe it's not 50,000, but maybe it's 1,000, how else can you reach that many people for free? And by the way, through somebody else, where immediately that credibility.
Right. Well, I was going to say. So there's I found this fascinating when I first learned the exercise principles, the fit principle, frequency, intensity, time, and type, and I was like, oh,
Got it.
these are communication principles. These are marketing. So it's like
Yes, they are.
word of mouth from your crazy neighbor. That's good, but you're like, nah, that guy's all crazy. But word of mouth from your buddy who you know, like, and trust, right? That's that funnel we talk about all the time, which is like, I know my crazy neighbor, sort of like him. I wouldn't invite him in the house, but I'll stand in the yard and have a beer with him. And do I trust him? I'm like, no. But my
With your
buddy,
healthcare. Right.
my buddy I've known for 20 years. Like I've seen him make some mistakes, and he makes good decisions more than, and that's different. So How do you typically encourage or educate people to be able to facilitate the right word of mouth? Because not only is someone telling them about you, you want to make sure you don't want to put words in their mouth, but you want to make sure that the words that are coming in their mouth are clear and concise. You want to maybe not
So,
craft the narrative, but help them.
well, you don't see, that's a great question because most of the time people are going to answer it at a very superficial level. And what you're trying to do is actually go back to the root. And the root is your patient experience. If you can think about the customer experience you have any business, right? What is that like? And when you are deliberate, and almost nobody is, right? But when you're deliberate about the customer experience that you want, the patient experience that you want to design and craft, where you want to stand out, where you want to be remarkable, what you wish to be known for, and you do that in a deliberate fashion and you really, level up that experience, they will say the right things about you. And the we can get into the how you break that down, the blocking and tackling a little bit too, but ultimately pick what is it you wish to be known for,
Yeah.
right? Do you and do more of that. And another great thing, if you've been in practice for a while, you've got a couple therapists, ask ask your favorite patients, ask those patients, number one, that you love working with, ask those patients who have sent somebody else to you, or the patients who have come back for another injury or something, why did you pick us? They will tell you what that thing is. And the other part, and one of the things I love about you, Jimmy, is too many people are trying to be neutral. Sometimes they call it professional. They try to be inoffensive. They're trying to fit in, right? I mean, dude, you land at a conference and you see the PTs at the airport at baggage claim. They've got polos and khakis, and,
Yeah.
and you know who the
Same.